What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. What's up? I assume, yeah, Hoop 2K. It's been a while since we talked, especially how the Patriots have changed since then. Yeah, it's been a fun year for the Pats. So very fun year. Drake May is awesome. Mike Vrabel's awesome. Would like to improve the defense in the offseason, but other than that, it's been a good season for once because, these past few years for the Pats have, not been good. But yeah, we got a quarterback, got a bright future, and yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, I know, but so yeah, basically, Stranger Things is officially over. I'm just gonna give my review, and then we'll get into the NFL stuff. So let me just get the graphic pulled up. Okay, here we go. So I've only seen the finale once. I know a few people have seen it a couple times. I'm seeing like a lot of mixed things. Like there's a lot of people who love it. There's a lot of people who really hate it. Some people are in the middle. So I'm just gonna, be honest with my review. This is just how I feel. This is my opinion. For me, the finale, it wasn't very good. I'll just be honest. Pretty disappointing. I thought like the first hour was very entertaining. I love the stuff in the Upside Down when they're trying to execute the plan. 11 goes in the water tank thing, and they have to enter Henry's mind, aka Vecna. You have Mr. Clark and Erica at the church thing. Of course, you have the rest of the characters trying to, climb the tower and stuff. So Max, 11, and Kali enter Vecna's mind, and they have to find him. They have to figure out, where Holly, Derek, and the rest of the kids are. So they get to Henry and they attack him. And then Max goes to rescue them, and then they're able to get the kids to see Henry Vecna's true colors. So they have to help him escape. Now, one scene I really love is Vecna getting into Hopper's mind of him seeing, his daughter that died from cancer, I believe. And then Vecna is saying, like, you're scared that the same thing is going to happen to 11. And, Hopper, starts to lose it and calls him a liar. And Vecna's like, I am many things, but a liar is not one of them. And he tricks Hopper into thinking that he actually shot 11. So he starts breaking the glass, and 11 falls out, and then he realizes that it was just a trick. And she's like, what did you do? So it was a very tense moment. And then obviously Max wakes up, and then that leads Dr. K and the military right to her and Vicky sells them out. One thing I did not like about this episode is the freaking military, like walking everywhere, screwing up their plan, and um, like you just have that going on. But they get into that military guy that had like a scar on his face or something. Like um, they go after Hopper, Max, and Collie, and then um, Hopper says like screw Collie and just takes 11 out of there and tries to save her. But then he goes back for a Collie and starts shooting at the military, and then Collie dies, and it was a good emotional scene. Um, of course, you have Holly and the kids alone, and then Vecna goes after him, and Derek saves Holly. So that it was good. There's some good moments in here. Somehow Steve, Jonathan, which I like Jonathan saving Steve. I thought that was very good. And they had like a nice, talk, but it's just like, why are they having this conversation now? Just a bit out of place for me, but they go after Vecna and Dimension X. Or the Abyss, whatever the frick it's called. So they go after Vecna. Then we see another version of the Mind Flayer, and a lot of people are hating on it. I think it looks pretty cool. A lot of people like the shadowy Mind Flayer from season 2 better. The one from season 3 is personally my favorite, but that's just me. Now, it was a good fight. I just wish it was more challenging. It just felt a bit too easy. Like the whole fight, like it never felt like they were gonna lose. It felt like they were, gonna win. I just didn't really feel the stakes. I didn't really feel any tension there. It's just like, let's drop a plan and see if it works, and it worked in their favor. And they kind of just defeat the Mind Flayer and Vecna a little too easily. I just was hoping for a longer fight. I was hoping for it to be a little more difficult. So that was kind of a letdown for me. But, I do like, all the flashbacks for like all the characters, seeing all the pain that they've been through because of Vecna and the Upside Down, really. And then, of course, they all, get Holly, Derek, and the kids out of there. And they drive right through the gate, expecting to get out of there and just celebrate. But of course, the military is just sitting there waiting for them. They're just guarding Max in a wheelchair. So then this is when 11 makes the choice to stay behind while the Upside Down is being destroyed. You have the song Purple Rain playing, which it's a really good song. I think it fits the scene. Get this like big emotional scene between 11 and Mike. I'll just say Finn's acting was not very good. I'll just say that. But I just love the emotion that was put into it. My only issue with it is I'm fine with 11, sacrificing herself to save the people she cares about. Mike, Hopper, and everybody else. But I don't like that it's because of the military. Like, oh, the military might find us one day and try to attack them. I wish it would have been better if it was because it would have been better if she sacrificed herself to take out Vecna and save the world. I don't like that it's because of the military. I do like her, sacrificing herself as a hero. But I just don't like that the main reason is the military. I just don't like it. Um, but of course, she dies and scene cuts to black, and then there's still a whole hour left. Um, Now, this is what brings down the episode for me. The whole hour epilogue was just so dragged out, and it just wasn't that good, in my opinion. You have Robin on her radio station. It's another 18 months time jump. I'm like, it's really necessary. But you just have all the, teens getting ready for graduation. I do like Dustin's speech. I love, him paying homage to Eddie. I thought that was really good. But you have Lucas and Max ending up together, which, I do like. Arguably the best couple in the show, arguably. It's debatable though. I love the scene where Hopper goes to talk with Mike, and I thought that scene was done very well. Then you have the scene of Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin all talking. That was just a very weird scene. I just wasn't that big of a fan of it. I don't think it was anything special, to be honest. Then you have Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Will playing one last Dungeons and Dragons game, and Max was there too. It was a wholesome scene. Brings me back to the first D&D game they had in season 1. Max kind of throw it off a little bit, but it's whatever. But then Mike comes up with a theory that 11 somehow survived and is still out there. I'm like, what are we doing? Now, do I believe? No. In my mind, 11's dead. For me, I felt like they just did that freaking scene as like a cop out or a loophole, so they have an excuse to bring her back in a spin-off 10 years down the road. But they're like, let's just leave it up to the viewers to decide, which it just completely taints, the scene of 11 sacrificing herself, which I am just, not a fan of. So then Holly, Derek, and her friends go downstairs and, take over Dungeons and Dragons. And then Mike kind of just looks at them, and then he just goes upstairs, closes the door, and then cuts to black, and then end credits. So yeah, that's it. Kind of just sat there after the episode's over, and I was like, that's how the show ends, really? So I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I stand by that. I don't give a frick what Noah says. I don't care. It's my opinion. So very disappointing season. Definitely the worst season out of the 5. I still love the show as a whole. I'll always be grateful for, all the good moments that this show has had. But it's officially over. I'll try to work on some videos. I do want to do a Stranger Things season ranking like I did for Cobra Kai back in the summer, which is my most recent video, I'm aware. But yeah, just not a good final season, not that good of a finale. Season as a whole, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think that's being generous. But yeah, just completely wasted potential. No stakes whatsoever. kind of screws the tension in some of those moments. But yeah, I'm disappointed. Um, those of you who love the season, believe me, I wish I could be you. Um, I was very excited for this season. Um, but man, just a huge disappointment. That's all I really have to say. So that'll wrap up the Stranger Things segment for this live. We will get into week 18 review and get the games pulled up. I just got to share my screen and then we should be good. Yeah, I can't say the same, but wish your team the best. Well, thank you. All right. Okay, we had 2 games on Saturday, both on ESPN. Okay, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the 16-14. I do think the Bucs did deserve to win this game, but the refs were horrible in this game. I mean, a bunch of bad calls that screwed over the Panthers in the end. But this is probably the worst division in football. I kid you not, guys. 3 teams in the NFC South all finished with an 8-9 record. Kid you not. Baker Mayfield, 16 of 22 with his passes, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pick. Bryce Young, 35 passing attempts, only completed 24, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. So statistically, he had a good game. When the Panthers can't run the ball, they can't really do anything. Rico Dowdle, 7 carries for 10 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 5 carries for 10 yards as well. So, yeah, they just could not get the run game going. Bucky Irving, 26 carries for 85 yards. Rashad White could be his last game as a Buccaneer because he is a free agent. Then we go to receiving. Tedderard McMillan, 4 catches, 85 yards. He's a really good receiver. They definitely hit on that first-round pick. Jalen Coker, 6 catches, 47 yards. He did have a touchdown late, and then Tommy Tremble had the other touchdown. Kate Otten, he's also going to be a free agent, along with Mike Evans, but 7 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Mike Evans, 2 catches for 34 yards. Then Egbuka, only 1 catch, 8 yards. Same for Chris Godwin. Defense, Derek Brown, 13 tackles. Whoever this is got the interception. So defense overall, trying to find the sacks. Okay, sacks are right here. 2 sacks for their defense. And then for the Bucs, Jacob Parrish had an interception. Their corners are actually solid. And then they had 0 sacks. But yeah, despite the Bucs winning this game, it wasn't enough to get into the playoffs because the Falcons did beat the Saints. Yeah, on to the next game. Okay, the Seattle Seahawks defeat the San Francisco 49ers. They secure the division for the first time in a long time. They also get the 1 seed in the NFC. So very good year for Seattle. Sam Darnold, he was okay in this game. 20 for 26, 198 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Brock Purdy, not his best game, 19 for 27, 127 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. Kenneth Walker had a great game, 16 carries for 97 yards. Charbonnet with a touchdown. McCaffrey, 8 carries, 23 yards. Not a great game from him. JSN, 6 catches for 84 yards. A really good season this year. Jennings, 4 catches, 35 yards. So San Fran's offense doesn't look very good. The defense, Nick Emonwari, he's been very good. Absolute steal in the draft. He had a tackle for loss. Thomas had an interception. And then 3 sacks total. Their defense is very good. Niners defense, not very good. They had 2 sacks. That's basically it. Niners will face the Eagles in the wild card, and then Seahawks will have the bye. Okay, so the Falcons beat the Saints, taking the Bucs out of the playoffs. Falcons finish 8-9, Saints 6-11. Tyler Shuck, 23 for 35, 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Solid game for him. He is way better than Jackson Dart. It's not even remotely close. Kirk Cousins, 18 for 32, 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Bijan, 15 carries, 33 yards. Falcons have so much talent. They should not. They're way better than their record shows. Estime was 63 rushing yards. Shuck with a rushing touchdown. Then receiving, Drake London, 4 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Juwan Johnson, 61 yards. It was Bell with the touchdown. It was Alfred with an interception and a tackle for loss, plus 2 pass deflections. James Pierce with 2 sacks. The Falcons had 4 sacks. Their defense is very good. I believe the Saints also had 4 sacks as well. 1.5 sacks for Granderson, 1.5 sacks for Chase Young. He's been very good this year. Preseason expectations was Saints were going to be the worst team. I guess not. Saints might actually have a quarterback. Kind of a meaningless game for both teams because it's kind of a lose-lose situation because Falcons win, Bucks don't make the playoffs, but the Panthers get in. Saints win, Panthers don't get in, but then Bucks get in. So it's kind of a lose-lose for both teams. But Saints at least have their first round pick. The Falcons don't. They owe their pick to the Rams. So that kind of sucks. But on to the next game. Okay, and the Jaguars absolutely smacked the Titans 41-7. But yeah, what a turnaround for the Jaguars. I believe they were 4-13 last year, and then this year 13-4. Liam Cohen absolutely deserves Coach of the Year, in my opinion. Yeah, Cam Ward actually started off pretty good. He was 3 of 3, 52 yards. He got a rushing touchdown. Unfortunately, he got injured. So he had to leave and sit out for the rest of the game. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully he's good to go for week 1 next season. But yeah, hopefully they get a good coaching staff. Trevor Lawrence, 22 of 30, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. He's been very good the past several weeks, pretty much the past month. Tony Pollard, 14 carries, 48 yards. ETN, 14 carries for 32 yards. Tootin with a touchdown. Io Manor, 3 catches for 50 yards. Parker Washington, he's insanely underrated. 5 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Strange with a touchdown. Jacoby Myers played well, and then whoever this is with a touchdown. Defense, let's see. Don't see any sacks. Oh, there's 1 sack. And then Johnson with the interception. Yeah, Jaguars, very underrated. Yeah. Good season for the Jaguars. They win the division for the first time since 2022. Oh boy, I feel bad for Tristan. The New York Giants defeat the Dallas Cowboys and hand the Las Vegas Raiders the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Jackson Dart, 22 of 32, 68 passer rating. I think that's what it is. 230 yards, 2 touchdowns or interceptions. Dak, 7 for 11. 70 yards, geez. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Joe Milton, former Patriot, 7 for 13, 73 yards, 0 touchdowns, and interception. Jadon Blue, running back from Texas, 16 carries, 64 yards, a touchdown. Maffei with a touchdown. Tyron Tracy, 18 carries, 103 yards, 0 touchdowns. Singletary with a touchdown. Fulnor, 5 catches, 68 yards. Pickens, only 1 catch for 9 yards, only had 3 targets. 1 target for CeeDee Lamb. Gunnar Olszewski, 8 catches, 102 yards. Ron Tracy and Daniel Bellinger, touchdown. Defense, let's see. Bobby Okereke with an interception and a pass deflection. Yeah, no sacks for the Giants defense. Quinion Williams, tackle. 3 sacks for Jadeveon Clowney. Odigizua with 0.5 sacks. They got 4 sacks total for the Dallas defense. Yeah, nothing much else to say about this game. On to the next one. Dallas got to fix that defense. Absolute wild game in Houston. The Texans beat the Colts 38-3. Colts went out swinging. They were swinging for the fences in this one. And it was a very entertaining game for the most part. Riley Leonard, holy moly. He had some ridiculous throws. Like he just launched it to like a wide open Alec Pierce. I was like, holy shit. Like he was dealing in this game. 21 for 34, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 94 QBR. Stroud 14 for 23, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Davis Mills came in 3 of 9, 36 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Jonathan Taylor 14 carries for 26 yards. Woody Marks 10 carries, 48 yards. Brooks was 63 yards. Leonard also had a rushing touchdown. Hutchinson 5 carries, 84 yards. Jaden Higgins with a touchdown. And Alec Pierce 4 catches, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did get ejected from the game because he's pissed off at the ref. Don't really know how to explain it or whatever. He thought he was in the end zone or whatever. And the ref was saying he was out of bounds, I guess. And Daniel Hunter with a sack. So 1 sack for the Texans defense, none for the Colts defense. Let's see, they had 1 interception. And then the wild part, trying to find it, the fumbles. Yeah, at the end, the Colts were like tossing it around and they fumbled it, and the Texans defense took it in for a touchdown to end the game. It was crazy. It was funny. Yeah, Texans, after starting off 0-3, make the playoff 12-5. They are the 5 seed in the wild card. AFC wild card is probably what I should have said. Okay, the Bengals lose to the Cleveland Browns at home. They finish the season with an atrocious 6-11 record. Bengals should have won this game. They had so many chances to win this game. McPherson missed 2 extra points. Missed a 2-point conversion that would have put him up by 3. Which probably would have taken the game into overtime. But, man, Joe Burrow, 29 for 39, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. 11 for 22, 111 yards. I don't care what anyone says. He's a third-string quarterback. Chase Brown, 13 carries, 72 yards. Dylan Sampson, 10 carries, 32 yards. Did not use Jenkins, or is Jenkins hurt? I don't remember. Jamar Chase, 8 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. T. Higgins, 6 catches and a touchdown. Chase Brown with a touchdown reception as well. Man, it's the exact same issue as last year. Good offense, terrible defense. The Browns have a very good defense. Let's see. Myles Garrett breaks the sack record in this game, so congrats to him. Huge milestone for him. Absolutely deserved. The Browns have a good defense. Bengals would be in the playoffs if they had the Browns defense. 2 sacks for Sample. Demetrius Knight with a sack. But yeah, another disappointing season for the Bengals. I feel bad for Joe Burrow. I feel bad for Bengals fans in general. Things were looking up for them a couple of years back. Won the division twice, 2 years in a row. Back-to-back AFC Championship appearances. They made it to the Super Bowl. If Burrow had gotten that pass off to Jamar Chase before Aaron Donald sacked him, they would have won the Super Bowl. Yeah, offseason, Bengals need to completely go all in on defense. Defense. Got to sign defensive players in free agency if you can afford any. I would consider trading T. Higgins for some defensive help. I know some Bengals fans don't want to hear it, but you don't need T. Higgins when you have Jamar Chase. I guarantee you 90% of the teams in the NFL, T. Higgins would be a wide receiver 1. He's that talented. You don't need 2 number 1 wide receivers. You need a legitimate number 1 that's going to demand double teams. Then you just need serviceable 2s and 3s. It's that simple. But Vikings beat the Packers at home. For those of you who don't know, the Vikings are my favorite NFC team. Love the logo, love the uniforms, love the helmets, love the culture, love it when the fans chant "Skull" and they blow the horn and they set off the fireworks thing or whatever the frick it is. But yeah, rough year for the Vikings. JJ McCarthy, 14 for 23, 182 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He came out of the game because I guess he suffered a head injury or something. I don't really know. But yeah, so Max Brosmer had to come in 7 for 8, 57 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Toon, I have no clue this is, 6 for 11, 34 yards. He looked awful in this game. Jordan Mason, 14 carries, 94 yards. Brooks, 13 carries, 61 yards. And receiving, despite the rough year, Jamar Chase did eclipse 1,000 yards. So thank goodness for that. 8 catches, 101 yards. No touchdowns, though. Matthew Golden, 1 catch for 8 yards. Probably one of the most disappointing first-round picks from this past draft class. And then I don't see Johnson, 1 catch for 8 yards. Naylor, 3 catches for 49 yards. He seems to be McCarthy's favorite target for some reason. But the defense played well. Eric Wilson, the tackle for loss. 2 sacks for Dallas Turner. That is a good sign. I was high on him in the draft a couple of years back. And the Packers just can't do much without Micah on defense. Um, yeah, the thing with the Packers is if they had never expanded the playoff teams in 2021, the Packers would have missed the playoffs like 4 years in a row, believe it or not. But yeah, Vikings wouldn't end the year off a high note, so hopefully they can carry this momentum into next season. I'd still try to bring in a veteran quarterback to compete with McCarthy for the starting job. Falcons most likely going to release Kirk Cousins. They'll actually save a lot of money if they do so, is what I've heard. So they could bring back Kirk Cousins. Another option that I really like is trading for Mac Jones. Mac Jones had some nice games for San Fran, so I think it'd be a good fit in Kevin McConnell's offense. Yeah. All right, the Rams smacked the Cardinals. They secure the 5 seed in the NFC. They'll be facing the Carolina Panthers in the wild card. Cardinals fans just can't catch a break, man. They do hold the 3rd overall pick, so that's interesting. So we'll see what they do from there. Jacoby Brissett, 22 of 31, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Kyler Murray still won more games than Jacoby Brissett. Kyler won 2. Jacoby got 1 win. 1. Not saying Kyler Murray's the answer at quarterback at this point because he's not. Kyler Murray and Bryce Young are really not that different from each other, believe it or not. Stafford, 25 for 40, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns. This pretty much solidifies that he's going to win the MVP, and it's deserved. I feel like it's deserved. Kyron Williams, 12 carries for 60 yards. Whoever this is, led them in receiving yards. Marvin Harrison didn't play in this game. Puka, 2 catches, 24 yards. Higbee, 5 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Nakua with a touchdown, 2 touchdowns for Colby Parkinson, solid tight end. Michael Wilson had a great game, 5 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Trey McBride played well. He broke a record, I believe. I don't remember what it was, but congrats to him. Cardinals defense, Josh Sweat with a sack. Jared Verse with a sack, Johnson with 2 sacks. Sack from Byron Rung, Frisk with a sack, Stewart with a sack. 6 sacks total for the Rams defense. That's ridiculous. That's all I really have to say about this game. It's going to be a rough few years for the Cardinals. Kings of the North, baby. What's up, Ben? We'll get there in a moment. Not letting me. Okay. Okay, Lions beat the Bears in the last game of the season. The Bears did not look good in this game at all, man. They did not score until the 4th quarter, so that's very concerning. If you are a Bears fan, Bears-Packers probably going to be the toughest game to pick in the playoffs. Jared Goff, 27 of 42, 331 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Caleb Williams, 20 of 33, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19 carries for 80 yards. Swift, 10 carries for 40 yards. Amon-Ra, 11 catches, 139 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, the touchdown. It said he had two. No, he didn't. Okay, never mind. Colston Loveland, 10 catches, 91 yards, a touchdown. Walker with a touchdown. Yeah, very concerning game for the Bears. Hopefully they take it as a wake-up call and don't do this again in the playoffs, but it was Maddox with an interception and Kevin Byard with the interception. I think he led the league in interceptions. I'm not really sure. But that 1 sack from the Lions defense, 3 from the Bears defense. Bears got to improve the defense in the offseason. Bears had a chance to win it. Failed. Lions win it at the end. So at least the Lions end the season on a high note. Yeah, it's not a good game from the Bears. Okay. The Bills backups absolutely smack the New York Jets. My goodness. The Jets might be the worst team I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot. I don't know how Aaron Glenn still has a job. He's probably one of the worst coaches, arguably the worst coach I've ever seen. He was hired to coach defense, and his defense is horrible. I mean, you have Mitch Trubisky, who is a huge bust. 22 for 29, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like Brady Cook, I don't know how he made the NFL. 11 for 22, 60 yards and a touchdown. His stats on the season: 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. My goodness. Did Breece Hall even play this game? No, he didn't. Yeah, Breece Hall's definitely gone. He said he doesn't want to be there anymore. He's a free agent. No way in how he signs an extension with them. So he's good as gone. Davis, 22 carries, 151 yards. So they didn't even have to use James Cook that much. Ty Johnson with a touchdown. Keon Coleman, 2 catches for 49 yards. Gabe Davis with a touchdown. Dawson Knox with a touchdown. Ray Davis with a touchdown. And Ty Johnson with a touchdown. And then Beck with a touchdown. But yeah, Jets can't even beat the Bills backups. My goodness, this team is terrible. And defense, let's see here. Sacks right here. All right, 1 sack for the Bills, 0 for the Jets. Nothing more to say of this game. Just embarrassing. If you're a Jets fan, that is. Denver Broncos secure the number 1 seed in the AFC over the Chargers. Said it once, I'll say it again. The Broncos are probably the worst 1 seed I've ever seen. Their defense is good. Their offense is terrible. They can't do anything on offense. They don't run the ball well. They don't pass the ball well. They have no receivers outside of Cortland Sutton. Bo Nix, 14 of 23, 141 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He runs around the pocket like a chicken with his head cut off. Trey Lance, absolutely horrible, 20 of 44, 136 yards, 0 touchdowns, interception. Chargers didn't even try to win this game. They said we're fine with playing New England in the freezing cold. Bo Nix, 8 carries, 49 rushing yards. Keenan Allen, 7 catches for 36 yards. Evan Ingram, 3 catches, 45 yards. Pat Bryant, 4 catches, 31 yards. Just a boring game, to be honest. Defense had, 4 sacks for the Broncos defense. 4 sacks for the Chargers defense as well. I do think the Chargers will be better next year. The Chargers having healthy O-line next year, I think they'll win the division. Because I don't think the Broncos are going to get that lucky again. Chiefs are pretty much going to be without Mahomes for like the whole season, and Travis Kelce's probably going to retire. And then the Raiders, it's going to take a while for them to do anything. Just a boring game. Nothing else to say. Okay, and somehow the Eagles lose at home to the Washington Commanders. I thought the Eagles would be more determined to win this game, given that the Bears lost. And if the Eagles won, they would have went up and grabbed the 2 seed, which wouldn't you rather play the Packers than the 49ers? Like, I'm just saying. Eagles are going to go one and done. The Eagles have a ton of talent, but bad coaching. Nick Sirianni is just not that good of a coach. Players are clearly, fed up with him. Don't know how you lose the Commanders, who have Josh Johnson out there, who's horrible. Guess they did not play Jalen Hurts, apparently. I thought he played for some reason. Whoever this guy is, 21 of 40, 241 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Josh Johnson, 14 of 22, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rodriguez, 16 carries, 65 yards, a touchdown. Josh Johnson with a rushing touchdown. Tank Bigsby, 75 rushing yards and a touchdown. McLaurin, 4 catches for 57 yards. Bates with a touchdown. Whoever this guy is got a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 3 catches, 52 yards. So Jalix Hunt with an interception. Reeves with an interception. No sacks for the Eagles defense. 3 for the Commanders defense. Eagles win the division for the second year in a row. Excuse me. but they are the 3 seed in the NFC. Worst game of the week. Raiders beat the Chiefs. Just an ugly game. Really, really boring. No Max Crosby. No Brock Bowers. So very boring game. But Raiders beat the Chiefs in the last game of the season. They secure the first overall pick despite the win. Kenny Pickett did start. Looked like absolute ass. So threw Aiden O'Connell out there, and he's a fun backup. For 22, 102 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Chiefs had like third and fourth stringer quarterbacks out there. Whoever this is, 11 of 17, 58 yards. Whoever this is, 7 of 14, 88 yards. Genty, 26 carries, 87 yards. Smith, 12 carries, 56 yards. Hollywood Brown, 3 catches, 64 yards. Kelsey, 3 catches for 12 yards. Could be the last game of his career. Michael Mayer, 3 catches, 47 yards. I believe the Raiders got a safety in this game as well. 8 sacks for the Raiders? What the hell? Like Connor with an interception for the Chiefs. Chiefs had 3 sacks. But yeah, worst game of the week. Very, very boring. Okay, my Patriots smacked the Dolphins in the freezing cold. Finished the season 14-3. The expectation was like 5 to 9 wins. Did not think we'd win 14 games. Impressive turnaround for the Patriots. Mike Vrabel and Drake May are awesome. Drake May really didn't have to do much. 14 of 18, 191 yards, 1 touchdown. Finn Brewers, 16 for 23, 137 yards, 1 touchdown and an interception. I guess Zach Wilson came in. Josh Dobbs came in, 3 of 4, 23 yards. Ramondre Stevenson had 5 total touchdowns, is what I heard. 7 carries, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was running all over the Dolphins. Trevion Henderson, 13 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whoever this was, 3 catches, 44 yards. Greg Dulcich had some nice catches. Malik Washington had a touchdown. Hunter Henry, 5 catches, 56 yards. Stephon Diggs, 3 catches, 43 yards. Afton Chisholm, the undrafted rookie, had a nice catch. Ramondre had a touchdown reception. Let's see, that's 1. Okay, so really only had 3 touchdowns, but the defense played well. Milton Williams came back. Will Campbell came back in this game, so Vrabel wanted to get them, reacclimated instead of just throwing them right in the playoffs. So it's probably the smart thing to do. Yeah, vibes are high in New England. They secure the 2 seed. They will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, unless if they play Denver in the AFC Championship. But the Patriots are 8-0 on the road. So a very fun season, absolute blast. Future's bright. So we win the AFC East for the first time since Tom Brady's final season in New England. To wrap up week 18, probably the best game of the week, to be honest. Steelers versus the Ravens, a historic rivalry. Both Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh fighting for jobs. The Steelers ultimately win it. This is a back and forth game. Very entertaining, very fun. I thought Lamar played great. Aaron Rodgers played amazing. Lamar, 11 for 18, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception, which wasn't really his fault. Pass got deflected, and Steelers caught it. Did kill the momentum, though, for the Ravens. Aaron Rodgers, 31 of 47, 294 yards, 1 touchdown. He looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers. Keep in mind, he's 42 years old. King Henry, 20 carries, 126 yards. Apparently didn't do anything in the fourth quarter because they sat him. Jalen Warren, 14 carries, 66 yards. Zay Flowers, 4 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tez Walker with a touchdown. Likely, who's most likely gone because they extended Mark Andrews for whatever reason. Kenneth Gainwell, 8 catches, 64 yards. Calvin Austin, 3 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Boswell, I believe, missed an extra point, I think. So that gave the Ravens the chance. So all they had to do was drive down the field, kick the game-winning field goal. But, of course, Tyler Loop misses it. Game over. Season over. Baltimore pretty much turned into Gotham City from there. Steelers win the division. First time in a while. Good win for them. Great game in general. What a disappointing season for the Baltimore Ravens. Major changes needed. But that wraps up week 18, excuse me. But I do want to go over the coaching firings so far. Before I get into predictions, give me 1 second. Wrong button. My bad. I believe that means Carnell Tate declared. What is this? Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt was sentenced to 5 days jail time for a driving incident. What is with Cincinnati? Jeez. Okay, starting off the big one. After 18 seasons, the Ravens fired head coach John Harbaugh. This needed to happen. Just several disappointing seasons, several disappointing playoff runs. Guys, between 2014 to now, he's only had 4 playoff wins. Very disappointing. Hasn't done much since winning the Super Bowl in 2012 against the San Francisco 49ers. League was completely different back then. I mean, 2019 with Lamar Jackson as a starting quarterback, they had the number 1 seed in the AFC. They lost to the Tennessee Titans in the divisional at home. 2 times they've missed the playoffs or just not have double-digit wins is because Lamar was hurt. 2023, you had the best defense in the NFL. You had the best quarterback. You won MVP for a reason. You had home field advantage. They held the Chiefs to 0 points in the second half, and they still lost because they could not freaking score. They should have scored with Zay Flowers, but Zay Flowers fumbled in the end zone like a dumbass and gave the ball back to the Chiefs. 2023 was their best chance to win a Super Bowl. But yeah, major changes need to be made in Baltimore. You have a 29-year-old quarterback in the peak of his career. He's a two-time MVP for a reason. Some head coaching candidates. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator from the Chargers. He has ties with this organization, so that would make a lot of sense. Kevin Stefanski could be an option as well. It'd be funny if he goes to the Ravens, gets revenge on the Browns. That'd be hilarious. Brian Flores would be perfect. He's a brilliant defensive coach, so I think he would fix the defense. Bring in a good offensive coordinator as well. But yeah, this needed to happen for John Harbaugh. I'm hearing the Falcons or Giants most likely. But yeah, he's just not that great of an offensive coach, not that great of a defensive coach. So okay, and then the Commanders have decided to fire Cliff Kingsbury, their offensive coordinator. Bit controversial. They also fired their DC as well. But yeah, kind of need a new coaching staff with Washington. But it was a disappointing year for Washington after going to the NFC Championship last year. Yeah, we'll see where he goes. I don't think he should be a head coach because we saw that in Arizona. Once he got figured out, he just could not do anything. I think going to the Lions as the offensive coordinator would be a nice fit. But yeah, and then Cowboys fire defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Should have never hired him in the first place. Terrible head coach for the Bears. Can't even be a good coordinator. Then he should not have a job in the NFL. See, Devontae Adams will be back in the playoffs. And then this should have happened earlier in the season when he punched his own player in the gut. But Cardinals have fired Jonathan Gannon. This needed to happen. Just not a very good head coach. See what they do. Clint Kubiak could be an option. Kevin Stefanski, maybe. I don't know, though. Clint Kubiak probably could be an option. Maybe Jesse Minter. I don't know. Cardinals are not a very attractive destination, though. That's the only issue. But yeah, that needed to happen. And then the Raiders have fired Pete Carroll. Yeah, one and done in Las Vegas. You should probably just retire at this point. Leave the game before the game leaves you. I understand he loves coaching, but time to step away. They're most likely going to try and push for Brian Flores because he's on the market for a head coaching job. The thing is, if you're Brian Flores, you have to choose between the Raiders and the Ravens. You're probably going to pick the Ravens. So we'll see what the Raiders do, but they need a completely new coaching staff. They should sell high on Max Crosby. I think they can get 2 first-round picks for him. Sell high on him while he still has value before it's too late. Just a disaster for the Raiders. Then the Browns fired Kevin Stefanski. Clearly just did not want to be there anymore. He's a 2-time coach of the year, so there's probably going to be – so he'll probably get, another crack at it somewhere else. Could go to the Giants, could go to the Falcons. The Ravens is an option as well. Maybe the Cardinals, but we'll see what happens. I believe this is the first one to happen after the season ended. Falcons fired Raheem Morris. This needed to happen. He's not a good head coach. Horrible with clock management. Horrible at play calling. They also fired their GM. That needed to happen as well. Falcons have so much talent. It's ridiculous. But they got to get the next hire right. Got to get it right. And they got to find their quarterback soon. But that's pretty much all the coaching news. But we'll get into my playoff predictions. Then we will do a mock draft, and then I'll go over some NBA games, and then that'll wrap up the live. Here it is. Full playoff predictions. I gotta cook in these. But yeah. Don't know why it's frozen right now. What is going on, StreamYard? Okay, there we go. All right, start off with the NFC. We got the Carolina Panthers versus LA Rams. Probably the easiest one to predict. I know the Panthers beat the Rams earlier in the year, but that gives the Rams more of an incentive to beat the brakes off the Panthers. Panthers don't really do anything above average. Their quarterback's below average. Their offense is below average. Defense below average. Coaching below average. Just the Rams are the far more dominant team. Way more playoff experience. They've won a Super Bowl under Sean McVay. Better coaching, better quarterback, better offense, better defense. Their secondary can be taken advantage of, but Bryce Young just isn't good enough. But I have the Rams winning this game. And we got the Eagles versus the 49ers. I'm going to pick the 49ers. As crazy as that sounds, better coaching, better offense. Eagles do have a better defense, but Kyle Shanahan's a really good coach. So I think the Niners will upset the Eagles at their home. Then we have arguably the toughest game to predict. We got the Bears versus the Packers. I just think the Packers are just too injured. No Micah, no Tucker Kraft. Offensive line is injured. A couple of other defensive players are out. So I'm going to pick the Bears to win it at home. I would not be surprised if Green Bay pulled it off. But I just don't know how Jordan Love's going to look in this game. But I got the Bears winning. Then we got Steelers, Texans on Monday at Pittsburgh. Sorry, Ben. Hate to do it to you. I gotta go Texans. Texans defense is just way too good. I think that defense is going to give 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers a lot of problems. Steelers defense isn't very good. It'll probably be an ugly game, like a low-scoring game. But I'm going to pick the Texans to win it because of their defense. Then we got Jacksonville versus Buffalo. I don't give a frick what people are saying. I'm picking the Jaguars. They're at home in warm weather, which Buffalo is not accustomed to. The Bills' run defense isn't good. The Jaguars can run it all over them. Now, the Bills' pass defense is good, but I just think this is a bad matchup for Buffalo. They're on the road in warm weather. So I think Jaguars will take advantage of that. Now, Josh Allen should be able to, pass the ball well. But he's probably going to get sacked twice by the other Josh Allen. They should be able to run the ball decently with James Cook and Ty Johnson. But other than that, the Bills don't have the receivers to take advantage of Jacksonville. Their best receiver is 35-year-old Brandon Cooks, and Khalil Shakir is a gadget player. Dalton Kincaid is probably their best receiver, and he's a tight end. And Jacksonville has solid defensive players. Devin Lloyd's had a great year. Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker's getting better. So they actually have a solid defensive line, a solid pass rush. So I think Jacksonville will take advantage and they will beat Buffalo. And then we got Patriots versus the Chargers in New England. New England hosting a playoff game for the first time since 2019 against Vrabel's Titans. I'm seeing a lot of dumbasses picking the Chargers, Noah and Jake. Here's the thing that people don't understand. The Chargers are a warm weather team that plays in a dome. This game is in outdoors in the freezing cold, which the Chargers are not built for. Plus, they have a terrible offensive line. They cannot block anybody. It is sad. It is actually sad how bad their offensive line is. Herbert is going to be under pressure constantly in the freezing cold, below 20-degree weather, with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, Harold Landry chasing him out of the pocket. It's a solid Patriots pass rush. And the Patriots have a solid offensive line. Will Campbell's back. Gerald Wilson's back. They have a good quarterback in Drake May. And Drake May should be able to, make plays. The Chargers defense, I'm sure will make it challenging, but just seeing people pick the Chargers over the Patriots, given how bad their offensive line is, and freaking cold weather, is ridiculous. It is absurd and stupid. So give me the Patriots to win this game. Mike Vrabel and Drake May get it done. Sorry, Chargers. Better luck next year. But the odds are stacked against them. So it just blows my mind that people are not even considering the cold weather and the horrific offensive line. Like, it is a travesty how bad the offensive line is for the Chargers. No Rashawn Slater, no Joe Alt, and people are still picking the Chargers. It makes no sense. I cannot believe that people don't see how stupid this is. Anyway, on to the divisional round. Yes, given the full playoff picture here. We got the Rams versus the Bears. Picking the Rams here. Just better coach, better overall team. I think it'll be a competitive game, but I just can't picture the Bears in the NFC Championship. I just don't see it. So I'm going to pick the Rams to win. Then we got Seattle versus San Fran. This will be the third time they've played this year. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers won, but I am going to pick the Seahawks to win. I know they're better on the road than they are at home, but they just have the much better defense. They should be healthy on offense since they have a first-round bye. So Seahawks go to the NFC Championship. First time in a while, I believe. Mike McDonald, really good defensive coach. Then we got Denver versus Houston. Now, this is probably going to be an ugly game because both teams have good defenses. Denver did win the last one, but C.J. Stroud got hurt, which is going to be a huge factor, or was a huge factor, but this time it's in Denver. That crowd's going to be, crazy. I think it's going to be an ugly game, but I will pick Denver, since they're at home. If it was a neutral site, I'd probably go Houston. But I am going to pick the Broncos to win. Then we got Patriots versus the Jaguars. Once again, in cold weather. Jacksonville is a warm weather team. They're not accustomed to cold weather. So I am going to pick the Patriots to win in this one. And then on to the conference championship round. As soon as this thing works. Oh, frick you. I didn't even click that. Conference championship. We got the Rams versus the Seahawks. Should be a good game. It would be in Seattle. But I'm going to pick the Rams because of the experience. Plus, I just don't know if Sam Darnold has to play mistake-free football just to get them there. So he's probably going to turn it over once or twice, maybe 3 times. Sean McVay, Super Bowl winning head coach, really good coach. Matthew Stafford playing amazing. They got Puka and Devontae Adams. So they should be able to win this game. Then we got the Patriots versus the Broncos in the AFC Championship. Obviously, back then, The Patriots lost 2 AFC championships to the Broncos, but back then it was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. This time it is Mike Vrabel and Drake May versus Sean Payton and Bo Nix. The Patriots have a far better offense. They have the way better quarterback. It's not even remotely close. They have better running backs in Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. They have way better receivers. Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, Matt Collins should be back by then. Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams, even Afton Chisholm. They have better tight ends in Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. I do think Denver's defense is better, but Denver does tend to give up big plays on defense, and Drake May can take advantage of that, and he will make you pay. And the Patriots, they are 8-0 on the road. So I don't think they'd be phased at all going into Denver. So I'm taking the Patriots to take down Denver on the road. They go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2019. 2018-2019 season. And that brings us to Super Bowl number 60, Rams versus Patriots. This would be the third time they've played each other in the Super Bowl. The Rams would be heavily favored. The Patriots would be underdogs going into this game. You have 2 MVP candidates going at it, Matthew Stafford and Drake May. The Rams do have the better offense. The Rams have a good defensive line, but their secondary can be taken advantage of. Thing with the Rams defense is if you can block them, you can beat them. The Patriots have solid offensive line play. You got Campbell, Jared Wilson on the left side. Garrett Bradbury's played fine at center. Mike Onwenu is an all-pro at right guard. Morgan Moses, solid veteran right tackle. And Drake May can make plays off script. He's younger. He's more mobile. And the Patriots would have favorable matchups on defense. You have Christian Gonzalez guarding Puka Nacua. You have Carlton Davis on Devontae Adams. 2001, the Rams were heavily favored over the Patriots. And what happened? The Patriots pulled off the upset. So history repeats itself. I'm taking the Patriots for the upset. I think it'll be a close game, high 20s, low 30s. Andy Borgalis recreates history, kicks the game-winning field goal. Patriots secure their 7th Super Bowl. Those are my playoff predictions. If I'm wrong, which I probably will be, I will own up to it, but don't really care what other people say. But the experience, they have guys with experience. Carlton Davis won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. Milton Williams won a Super Bowl with the Eagles a year ago. They have tons of veterans on this team. Stephon Diggs has playoff experience. Matt Collins has playoff experience. Hunter Henry has playoff experience. Morgan Moses has playoff experience. Mike Vrabel has playoff experience. Josh McDaniels has Super Bowl experience because he's been an OC for the Patriots for several years. So I think the Patriots are good enough to get it done. Not saying they're a perfect team. I don't think there's any team in the NFL that's perfect, but I think they're good enough to get the job done. But those are my predictions. This season's just been insanely unpredictable, so we really don't know what's going to happen, but that's my bracket. We'll do a mock draft. Since picks 1 through 18 are pretty much set in stone. Okay. Let me get rid of the banner. Yeah, we got the mock draft set up. Okay, Raiders are the first overall pick. It's obviously going to be Fernando Mendoza. Need a quarterback. He's been very, very good. Undefeated record. Won the Heisman. Could be a national champion. So Raiders get their quarterback. The future, hopefully. Jets, been looking for a quarterback for a while. They select Dante Moore here. Hopefully he actually declares. Now the Cardinals are interesting. They need O-line, but I don't see them taking one this high. So I'm going to have them take Arvell Reese, BPA, best player available. You can play him off the edge. You can play him at linebacker, but he'd be a good addition for that defense. Titans at 4. Going to go Ruben Bain. They do need to get more weapons for Cam Ward on offense, but defense needs help as well. Then the Giants at 5. Take a receiver. Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State has injury concerns, but that's who I have them taking. Then for the Browns, I'm going to have them go offensive line. Spencer Fano from Utah. Believe he's a right tackle. Jack Conklin can't stay healthy anyway. So that's who I have them taking. The Commanders need defense. David Italy, really good edge rusher out of Texas Tech. He can get sacks. He can pressure the quarterback. Very good player. The Saints, I'd say a defensive line. We go Peter Woods. You could argue receiver as well. Not as good as he was supposed to be, but I still think he's going to be a first-round pick. Chiefs, Jeremiah Love, really good running back. Bengals, get Caleb Downs, keep him in Ohio State. And the Dolphins, I'm going to have them take Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU. The Cowboys could use a corner as well. We're going to have Sony Styles, though. They need linebacker help as well. The Rams do want a quarterback before Stafford retires, but there's just none worth taking. Jamon McCoy, despite not playing all year, they just need secondary help badly. 2024, he was phenomenal. Hasn't played because of an injury, but I do like the spot they take him at. Then the Ravens, they need pass rush. You could argue offensive line as well, but we're going to go Caden McDonald, given the fact that Matabuke may never play football again, which would be very unfortunate. Buccaneers, we'll go edge. They need defense badly. Bill Caldrick Falk out of Auburn, solid edge rusher. The Jets, we're going to go Carnell Tate. They need another receiver next to Garrett Wilson. So you'd have 2 Ohio State receivers. The Lions, they do need pass rush, but they also need offensive line. We'll go with Francis Maligoa. Probably would move inside to guard, but they might try him out at left tackle since freaking what's his name? Penei Sewell plays right tackle, but we'll see what they do there. All right, the Vikings could use some corner help. Avion Terrell, the brother of AJ Terrell and the Falcons, which the Vikings play the Falcons next season. So that we'll probably get a jersey swap there. Carolina is interesting. Probably go defense. Um, we're gonna go CJ Allen. Don't know why he's ranked at 30, but really good linebacker for Georgia. The Cowboys need a corner. Gonna have them go with Brandon Cisse from South Carolina. His draft stock is skyrocketed. Steelers get depth at receiver. Mekhi Lemon, absolute stud. Chargers, they get Olavega, Ione from Penn State, need interior O-line. Eagles, I'm not really sure what they'll do. We're going to go Kenyon Sadiq here since they might get rid of Dallas Goedert, but he's a solid tight end. Bills could use pass rush, but they need receivers badly. We go Denzel Boston here. And then the Bears, I'm going to have them take TJ Parker. They need defense badly. Same for the Niners. They have a lot of holes they need to fill. I'm going to have them take Caden Proctor. He could replace Trent Williams down the road. Texans, they do need to find a way to fix the O-line, but there just isn't a lot of options here. So they'll probably get some offensive linemen in like the later rounds. So a lot of them improve defensive tackle and Caleb Banks. The Browns will go Casey Conception, solid receiver. Broncos are interesting. We'll go Amari Washington, solid defensive tackle. I know they need offense, but there's just not a lot available. Seattle, we'll go Colton Hood, especially if Tariq Woolen leaves in free agency. The Rams, we'll go Caleb Lamu. Not sure if he's going to declare or go back to school, but we'll see what happens there. And then Patriots, take Cassius Howell, improve the pass rush. Yeah, that is the mock draft. Yeah, that's the mock draft. Go over some NBA games, and then that'll wrap it up. Okay. Sixers beat the Grizzlies in overtime. Celtics beat the Jazz by 10. Pistons blow out the Lakers. Love to see it. Okay. Go to Wednesday. Just a weird year for sports in general. Mainly NFL and NBA, but somehow the Wolves get blown out by the Hawks. Paulo hits a game winner for the Magic over the Pacers. Love to see it. Cavs beat the Suns. Spurs beat the Knicks. Get revenge for the NBA Cup thing. Nuggets beat the Raptors without Jokic. Jokic going to be out for a while. Bucks lose the Wizards by 1. And then Thunder blow out the Blazers. Thursday, January 1st. Heat beat the Pistons. Celtics smack the Kings. Clippers beat the Jazz. Clippers kind of been on a roll. Don't know why they didn't play like this at the beginning of the year. Spurs beat the Pacers by 10. Hawks smack the Knicks. Love to see it. Cavs beat the Nuggets. Bulls, of course, beat the Magic. Bucks barely beat the Hornets. Thunder blow out the Warriors. Lakers beat the Grizzlies. Okay. Let's go to Saturday. All right. Wolves beat the Heat by 10. That's awesome. Raptors blow out the Hawks. Sixers beat the Knicks. Blazers beat the Spurs by 5. Hornets beat the Bulls. Mavericks beat the Rockets. Celtics blow out the Clippers and their winning streak. They have the opposite record of us. But Jaylen Brown's been playing phenomenal. All right, and then Sunday, Pistons beat the Cavs. Magic beat the Pacers. Nets beat the Nuggets. Timberwolves blow out the Wizards like they're supposed to. Suns beat the Thunder by 3. That's awesome. Lakers beat the Grizzlies again. And then go to yesterday's games. And that'll be it. Pistons absolutely blow out the Knicks. Love to see it. Celtics beat the Bulls. They jumped the Knicks for the number 2 seed in the East. Keep in mind, they're without Jason Tatum. Neemias Queta is their starting center. Raptors beat the Hawks by 18. Rockets beat the Suns by 3. I heard Kevin Durant hit a game winner. And this is hilarious. The Thunder, your defending champ, get absolutely blown out by the Charlotte Hornets by 27 at home. Wow. That is embarrassing. Nuggets beat the Sixers in overtime. Blazers blow out the Jazz by 20. And then Clippers beat the Warriors. But that's going to do it for the live, guys. Thank you guys for watching. hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I don't understand, right as I'm about to end. I don't even know what that means. I don't understand where that even came from. I have no clue what it means, so I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. I have no clue what it even means. So sorry. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. Good night.